Okay, so in this video, we're going to discuss questions from the end semester test review for grade 7. Okay, so the topic that covers this review is about types of numbers and then operation, arithmetic operation and for numbers and also for fraction, decimal, and percentage, and also basic algebra such as simplifying expression, expanded bracket, factoring, and also solving algebraic equation. And last one is about story problems. Okay, so let's jump up to number 1 here, number 1 to 4. Use the data below for the numbers 2, square root of 3, negative 1, square root of 25, square root of 7, 6, and 3 over 8. Write down all the numbers that are integers. Now, we know that integers is numbers like this, like 0, 1, 2, 3, and then negative 1, negative 2, and so on, so on. So a number it's like a whole number, but it can be also negative. Okay, so in here, from these numbers, the one that are integers are 2 and then negative 1 and then 6, but be careful that this is actually also an integer because square root of 25 is equals to 5, right? So 5 is an integer. Okay, so in here you write down 2, negative 1, and then square root of 25 because that is 5, and then 6. Okay, so that is for integer. Next one is about types of number, which is rational number. Rational number is a number that can be formed as a over b, in which a and b are integers, right? So for example, if I have like 1 over 2 or 3 over 5, or also for example like 5, for example, 5 can be written as 5 over 1, right? So this is also going to be a rational number. So and then if you have like 1 over 3, this is also rational number, but like you see, if you put it in the calculator and you change it into decimal, it'll be 0.33333, and so on, right? So it repeated forever. We call it the recurring decimal. So this is also going to be a rational number. So from all of these numbers, the one that included into rational number is 2, because 2 can be written as 2 over 1, and negative 1 also, 25 also the same, and then 6 also the same, 6 also, and then 3 over 8 is also the same. Now, why this square root of 3 and square root of 7 is not? Because if you put that into the calculator, you'll get square root of 3 and and then change it into decimal number, you will get 1.7 here, 1.732050808, and so on, right? So if you put it in the calculator, can you see that we don't have any, I mean, the numbers are not, doesn't have any pattern, right? So it's like a decimal number, but it goes on forever, but like without any pattern. Okay, so which means that this is not a rational number. So numbers that not include into rational numbers, it means that it is an irrational number. So this square root of 3 will be included over here. Okay, now square root of 7 is also the same. If you put that into the calculator, guys, again, you can use the calculator for this test. You will get 2.64575131. So actually, it goes on forever, but without any pattern. Guys, you don't have any pattern, right? You don't see any pattern here, so which means that this is also an irrational number. So you put it over here. So the one that doesn't include into a rational number, it means they are in a rational number. So that 2, this, and this, all of them are rational numbers. So 2, negative 1, square root of 25, 6, and 3 over 8. Okay, the next one is prime number. So remember that prime number is a number, is a what they call it, is a whole number that is only have 2 factors. Okay, so for example, like 2 only can be divided or divisible by 1 and 2, right? So it has exactly 2 factors. So 2 is a prime number, right? 2 is a prime number. And then the one that is irrational, this 2, they are not going to be prime number because they are not a whole number. So this is also not going to be a prime number because we need a whole number for this one. Okay, and then we have negative 1. Negative also not included into prime number, so exclude that. And then square root of 25, we can see that square root of 25 is equals to 5. 5 is also a prime number because it is it only has 2 factors, which is 1 and 5, right? It's only divisible by 1 and 5, so which means that it has exactly 2 factors. So prime number. 5 is also a prime number. And the last one is 6. Now we need to check whether it has more than 2, or like it's exactly 2 factors or not. So 6 are divisible by 1, 2, 3, and 6, right? So because it has like more than 2 factors, or less than, it's not 2, yeah, the factors are not 2, then it is not a prime number. Okay, so we're done for number 1 until number 4. Okay, so for number 5 until 11, actually it's pretty easy, right? So again, guys, you can actually use the calculator for this one. Just put it in the calculator. But be careful that you have like a minus number here. So just put that. But you don't have to write down any process for number 5 and number 6, because it's like only like 2 numbers and then you add them or subtract them, right? Or multiply. So negative 6 plus negative 7 is going to be minus 13. Negative 4 times 8 is just negative 32. And now for this one, you need to do the bit mass, right? So you need to understand the bit mass, right? So bracket, index, division, multiplication, and then addition and subtraction. So for this one, you need to do this first, and then this first, and then you add them together. So 4 times 9 is 36, right? And 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. So 36 plus negative 16 is going to be equal to 21. Okay, now the next one is number 8. It's also the same, guys. You can actually use the calculator for this one, but again, I would recommend you need to write down the process to get a full marks. If you just write down the final answer, then the marks will not be full. And for this one here, remember that if the denominator not the same, so it means that you need to change so that they have the same denominator by using the equivalent fraction. Equivalent fraction is like this. If I have like 1 over 2, I can actually write down as 2 over 4, right? So I can like multiply this by 2 and do the same thing with the numerator. I can also have like 3 over 6 because I multiplied this with 3 and I also multiplied this by 3, right? So this is what we call an equivalent fraction. Now in here for this one, I'm gonna rewrite this number 8 over here. So it's 3 over 4 plus 1 over 5. Now so the denominator is not the same. So what we need to do is to make them the same by finding what we call the LCM, the least common multiple. The least common multiple of 4 and 5 is 20. So like this. And then to go from 4 to 20, right, because we are going to find the equivalent fraction of 3 over 4, in which the denominator is 20, so this needs to be multiplied by 5, because 4 times 5 equals 20. So we do the same thing with the numerator, which is also multiplied by 5, and that'll be 3 times 5 is equals to 15. So the same thing with this one. 1 goes to 20, you multiply by 4, so you also need to multiply this by 4, and you will get 4. Okay, so just add them. 15 plus 4 is 19, and the 20 is still there. Okay, now 19 over 20. Next one is number 9. So for this number 9, 10, and 11, if they have different form, like a decimal with fractions and so on, a different form of numbers, you can actually change them or convert them into other form. But just remember that it's easier for you guys to do it with the calculator first, and then check out the final answer first, and then you write down the process. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna use I'm gonna change this into percentage. So 3 over 4, if you put in the calculator, you press the SD button, you'll get a decimal, and then times it with 100 to get the percentage. So there will be 85% minus 75%, and that'll be just equals to 10%. Or you can write down as 10 over 100. But remember that if you're writing the final answer as a fraction, you need to write it down as the simplest form of fraction. This we can cancel the 0. That'll be just 1 over 10, or in decimal is 0.1. So this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. You can choose either of these one form. Okay, next one is this one here. You don't really, like if it's like 2 process, just put them into the calculator and you will get 0.28 over here. And this one here is division. We know that if we have a fraction divided by another fraction, that will be like this. Okay, just change the division sign, becomes multiplication sign, and then swap the numerator and the denominator. Right, 7 times 9 is 63, 8 times 4 is 40, and this is the final answer. Okay, so for number 12 until number 14, they're all the same, finding the highest common factor and the least common multiple. Okay. Okay, now for number 12, we're finding the IGF and LCM of 18 and 24. So the first thing you need to do is to make the three factors from 18 and 24. That way 18 divided by 2. Okay, remember that to use a prime number, right? So divided by 2, you get 9, and then divided by 3, you get 3. And then 24, the same thing, you divide it by 2, you get 12. Divided by 2 again, you get 6. Divided by 2, you get 3. So which means that I can write down 18 as 2 times 3 to the power of 2. Yeah, 2 times 3 to the power of 2, right? And the same thing with 24, I can write it down as 2 to the power of 3 because I'm multiplying 2 3 times, right? And then I still have this guy over here, which is 3. So multiply that by 3. Now to find the highest common factor, so you only need to pick the same base. If they have the same base, to take it, and then take the lowest power. So in here we have 2 of the base and also 2, right? So the lowest power is this guy because that is just to the power of 1, right? So they take that one. And we also have another base which are the same, which is this one, 3 and 3, right? But the lowest power here is this guy because that is just to the power of 1, and just multiply that, and then 2 times 3 equals to 6. That's it, okay? And then for the lowest common multiple, now we take everything, right? Everything, but if they are the same, just take the highest power this time. So we have 2, and we have 2 to the power of 3. So take 2 to the power of 3 this time. Okay, so 2 to the power of 3. And we have also the same base here, which is 3. So now 3 to the power of 2 is going to be taken because that is the highest power. That has the highest power of 3. Okay, so that will be equals to 2 to the power of 3 is 8. 3 to the power of 2 is equals to 9, and that will be just equals to 72. Okay, so you do the same thing with number 13 and number 14. You try by yourself, okay? You can pause the video, and then later on you can check the final answer. I'm going to put it here, okay? Okay, so these are the answer for number 13 and number 14 using the same concept as number 12, okay? Here, check your answer whether it is correct or not. Okay, let's move on to the next question, number 15 until number 20. Okay, so for number 15 till 20, write an algebraic expression for each phrase. So the first thing that you need to understand is that when we want to convert sentences into algebraic expression, you need to see the key words. Okay, the keywords is like this. Again, let's go to number 15. The product of a number m and 3. So the product means that is a multiplication, right? So you just multiply two things, right? Here, number m and 3, so it's just m times 3. But remember that in algebra, if we have multiplication, we don't write down the multiplication anymore. If it's like a variable and a number, so just combine them together. But the one that you write first is the number and then the letter, right? Like this we'll call the coefficient. Okay, so the next one is the quotient. Quotient means division, right? Okay, division. Okay, now I will suggest you to write that division as a fraction. So we have number h and 1000. That'll be h divided by 1000, and I would like you to write it down like this. Okay, h over 1000. Okay, next one. A number is n subtracted from the product of 12 and a number m. So a number, right? We have subtraction and we have product. So most of the time you will see it from the back. Okay, so it's a number n subtracted from the product. So you do the product first, and then you subtract it by the n, right? So the product of, this is the first step and this is the second one. So the product of 12 and a number m, that will be 12 times m, right? And then subtracted by n. And remember that we don't need to write down the multiplication sign anymore. That'll be 12m minus n. Okay, next one, 15 times the sum of a number x and 30. Again, in here 15 times you multiply, and then the sum means that you add, right? This is multiplication, this is addition. And then most of the time, again, you do it from the back. So a number x and 30, so you add them first, right? So a number x and 30, you add them first, and then you multiply it by 15. But be careful because you're multiplying not just 30, you're multiplying also the x, so you need to put bracket like this. So most of the time you write it down like this. The 15 goes in front, and then the x plus 30 goes in the back without the multiplication sign. Okay, number 19, 2 times the cube of the difference of a number w and 42. So the same thing. We have times multiplication, cube, which is to the power of 3, and then the difference means you subtract, right? So you a number w and 42, you take the difference, which is subtraction, right? Subtract. That'll be w minus 42, right? And then the cube means that it's going to be to the power of 3. But again, remember guys, the one that's being cubed is not just the 42, it's not just the w, but it's the whole thing. So which means that you need to put bracket on it and then to the power of 3, right? That's a cube. And then it said the 2 times means you multiply by 2, right? You multiply by 2. But again, guys, you can do it the same thing like this one here, which is the 2 goes to the front. So it's gonna be like this. Okay. Next one, number 20. Half of a number C is subtracted from the product of a number B and 8.5. So again, half means like multiply. Half of the number means that you multiply the number by half. And then subtraction, and then product. Again, most of the time you will see it from the back. So from the back, which means that from the product of a number B and 8.5, so you multiply those two. So B times 8.5, that's the first one, right? Multiplication. And then subtracted from, that will be subtraction, half of a number. So it's half of a number C. Now again, we can write this down as 8.5B, right? And then this one is just 1 over 2C or just C over 2. Okay. Next question, number 21 until number 25. You only need to simplify. In algebra, when you simplify expression for this basic concept is if you have an addition or subtraction, make sure that you can combine the like terms. But if you're using multiplication and division later on, I'm gonna tell you how to do it. Okay, so in here for number 21, we have a plus 2b plus 5a plus 4b. Now the first thing you see is that we need to find like term. So this guy is going to be like term with this guy because it has the same exact variable, which is a, right? So we can add those two. So a plus 5a, that'll be 6a. And then the b in here, we also have like terms. So this guy here is going to be the like term with this one, right? So 2b plus 4b, and that'll be equals to 6b. Don't forget, this is like addition, right? So it's going to be like this. Okay, so the next one is this one here, 5ab plus 6ab minus 2aba minus 3ba. So you might think, okay, this guy, I like him with this guy, but it does not like him with this guy. But actually, all of them are like him. So remember, if I have right now a6ab, it's the same thing as 6ba. It's the same thing. It's the same like 6 times 2 times 3. It's the same thing like 6 times 3 times 2, right? I can just like swap them up like this. So it is actually the same. But I'm gonna write down everything now with ab. So which means that I can rewrite this as 5ab plus 6ab minus 2ab and then minus 3ab. So everything is ab. So because they are all of the terms have the same exact variable like this, right? So you only need to do the coefficient, which is this 5 and then plus 6 and then minus 2 and then minus 3, right? 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. So there'll be 6ab. Okay. So number 23, in here we have a squared minus 6a plus 4a squared minus 5. So this one here is, this a squared will be like term with the, sorry, not that one, with this one here, because both of them have a squared. So a squared and a is not going to be like term because a is not equals to a times a, right? So it's different. So this a squared with the 4a, just add them together, you get 5a squared, right? This is, remember that we have 1 over here, so it's just 1 plus 4, which is 5a squared. And then the next one is that's minus 6a. Remember that we have this minus in front of the 6 and also minus in front of the a. So pay attention to that. So minus 6a and then minus 5a, there'll be minus 11a. Okay, so number 24 is just a multiplication. So if we have a multiplication in algebra, you just multiply everything, just combine everything. But if you can, when you can, for example, like this one here, 8 and 3, you can multiply them, right? Which is 24. Just write down the 24. And if you have only one a here, we don't have any a, just write down a. And then if you have like this one, b and then another b, so b times b is b squared, so write down b squared. And then the last one is this one here, it doesn't have any other things to combine, and then just write down c. So remember that you need to write down the number first and then the variable in alphabetical order. Okay, number 25, this is for division. It's you can do what we call a canceling, right? So for example, like if I have 6 times 2 times 3 over 2 times 3, for example, I can like, okay, I'm just cross these two because they are being multiplied. Be careful, you can only do this if it's being multiplied. If I write down like this, for example, you cannot do this. Okay, this is illegal. Okay, so you can only cross it or you can cancel it when it is being multiplied. So in here, the all of them are being multiplied, right? Because this is like 24 times a times b. This is 18 times b times c, right? So the first thing we do, we can simplify this fraction here, right? So both of them are divisible by 6, right? So this divided by 6, you get 3. Divide this by 6, you get wait, divided by 6 you get 4, this divided by 6 you get 3, so it's 4 over 3, right? So the this one becomes 4, this becomes 3, and you can see that we have the same exact variable, which is the b, so you can just cancel the b, right? So the one that's left here is just 4a over 3c, right? 4a over 3c, that's it. Okay, for number 26 until 30, expand and simplify this expression. Okay, so we have this here, right? So we are going to expand. So how to expand? So remember that 2 bracket x plus 2 here is actually 2 multiplied by x plus 2. So when you have a bracket like this, you need to multiply this 2 here, the one outside the bracket, with every single term inside the bracket, right? So the same thing with this one, right? So we're going to do it twice for this one. So the first one is 2 times x, which is just 2x, and then 2 times 2, which is plus 4, and then 3 times x, which is just 3x, and then 3 times 1, which is just plus 3. And we can do the same thing again like we did before, which is simplifying this expression. We know that this one is going to be like term with that one, so 2x plus 3x equals 5x, and then the 4 and 3 also like terms, this one and this one, you can combine them, so that'll be just 4 plus 3, which is plus 7. Okay, so we're going to do everything like that. So in here, the same thing again, so 3 times 2a, this is 6a, and then 3 times 1, that'll be plus 3, and then be careful with negative, okay guys? So this is negative 4 times a, they give negative 4a, and then negative 4 times 5, there'll be negative 20. Okay, be careful with the negative sign. And then we can simplify this expression. This is 6a and negative 4a. Those two are like terms, so 6a minus 4a is 2a, and then for the other one, which is this one here and this one, they're also like terms, and they'll be minus 17. Okay, so you can do this one, number 28, 29, and then number 30. I'm gonna go to number 30, guys. So here we do the same thing again like this one. Okay, but and that'll be 2a times 3a becomes 6a squared. Be careful, this is a times a because that'll be a squared, and then 2a times 4, which is plus 8a, and then 5a times 2 times a will be plus 5a squared, and last one is 5a times negative 4, that'll be minus 20a, and then we do the same thing again. Collect the like terms. 6a squared plus 5a squared becomes 11a squared, and then 8a minus 20a, that will be minus 12a. Okay, so I would like you to do number 28 and number 29, pause the video, and then try to work by yourself, and then go back here again if you have the answer. I'm gonna give the final answer for you guys. Okay, so this is the answer for number 28 and number 29. So number 28 and number 29. Okay, hope you get it right. Okay, next question, number 31. For number 31 until 35, factorize each expression. So the concept of factorizing is the opposite of what we just did over here, expanding bracket, right? So in here, when we talk factorize, means that we need to find the factors. When we need to find the factors, means like we're going to divide, right? So in here, we have for number 31, we have 2a plus 4. And the first thing that we need to see is that, okay, so how many terms do we have? We have 2 terms, right? And then see if they have the same exact factor. So it's the same thing as finding the highest common factor, but you can like see it in like okay, just guess for the number that you can use to divide these two. So 2a and 4 are, both of them are divisible by 2, right? So pull the 2 out, and then rewrite that again, that 2a plus 4, but do it like this, 2a and then plus 4. And then you divide both of these by the number that you pull out, which is the 2, right? And then you can just divide it. Okay, this is 2a divided by 2 is just a, right? So that'll be equal to 2, and then that 2a divided by 2 is just 8, and 4 divided by 2 is equals to 2, right? Okay, so notice that if you have the final answer, so you can actually check it whether it's going to be this one by just using the expanding bracket, right? So if you multiply this with this, you'll get 2a, and if you multiply this with this, you get equals to 4, and you can see that it is going to be going back to that question again. But again, you don't have to write down this process because this is just like checking your final answer. Okay, now the same thing with number 32. That will be 3a and 12. So both of them have the same factor. The highest common factor is 3, right? So pull out the 3. And then that 3a plus 12, just put it there. And then you divide both of these by the number that you pull out, which is the 3, divided by 3, divided by 3. And it will be like this, right? So 3a divided by a is just a, and then 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, same thing with this one. I'm gonna skip number 33. You can do it by yourself. Number 34. The first thing that we see is the numbers here, 24 and 36. The highest common factor of 24 and 36 is 12. So you pull out the 12, but be careful that we also have a variable that is the same, which is a and a. So a should also be pulled out. Okay, and then we have b over here, but we don't have b over here, so we cannot pull that out. Okay, so in here, we can do the same thing like before. Use a bracket and then write down the 24ab and then plus the 36a, and then divide everything by this number here. That term that is being pulled out, the 12a, and this is also 12a. And then you cancel what we can cancel. Like this one here, we can cancel the a. We can also cancel the a, right? And then 24 divided by 12 is just 2, right? And that'll be just 2b because the b stays there, right? So that'll be equal to 12a and then 2b. And then in here we have 36 divided by 12, which is just equals to 3, right? That's it, okay? And then the last one here is the same thing. Focus on the 12 and 8. So the highest common factor of those two numbers is 4, so pull out the 4. But in here we have a squared and a. So notice that 12a squared can be written as 12aa, right? So you have found the highest common factor of 12 and 8, which is 4. Now, when we have this a variable that's like repeating like this, that it's being multiplied, you can just like take one of them. Okay, so only one pair, right? So it means that this one doesn't have any pair because it doesn't have an a anymore over here, right? So it's just 12a. Sorry, 4a. No, just pull out one because we only have one pair here. They are the same. Now, and then we can do the same thing again. That 12a squared, I'm going to write down just 12aa for you guys to make it easy. And then minus 8ab. Okay, because we haven't talked about exponents. So, I'm just going to write down like this for you guys. Okay, so divide this by everything over here, which is 4a. This is 4a, and that's 4a. And then try to cancel what you can cancel, which is this a, and then this a again. And now 12a divided by 4 is just 12, divided by 4 is just 3. And we still have this a over here, so it's 3a. So the 4a stays there, and then that will be 3a. And this way, guy is just... sorry, am I canceling the b? I should cancel the a. Sorry, guys. Okay, cancel the a, guys. A. Okay, so it'll be just 8 divided by 4, which is 2. And then we still have the b over here. So that'll be just 2b minus 2b. Okay, remember that this is subtraction. Okay. Okay, next question, number 36 till 39. Maybe I'm gonna need to zoom this out a little bit, guys. This is too small. Okay, for number 36 until 39, if a equals 3 and b equals negative 2, find the value of a plus b to a plus 3. So basically for this one, you are going to substitute, right? Substitute, or we call it plug in. Yeah, we plug that in. So in here, in this question, the value of a is 3 and the value of b is negative 2. So in different question, it can be different. Okay, so but in this question, I'm assuming that I have the value of a, which is 3, and I have the value of b, which is negative 2. So if I want to write down, if I want to know the value of a plus b, you only need to substitute the a by 3 and b by negative 2. That's it. Okay, and then you do the process. You do the arithmetic process. Okay, so for this one, you don't need to put bracket, but I suggest that you do bracket if you're not being used to this one. So this is just like 3 plus negative 2. So in bracket. So I'm going to use bracket also with the 3 so that you know. Okay, so this one is just like a very simple calculation. It's just 3 minus 2, which is equals to 1. right? Same thing with this one here, 2a plus 3b. Remember, every time you substitute a value to assigning a number or a value to a variable, you put the bracket. So for here, we know that the a is 3. So do not write it down like this, 2, 3. This is 23. If I put bracket, means that that is going to be 2 multiplied by 3. So the bracket really does yeah, really important. And then next one is 3, and then the b is -2, and then bracket -2. And then this is 2 times 3, which is 6. And then this is 3 times -2 is -6. And that'll be just equals to 0. Okay, so you do the same thing with the others. Okay, so 3a minus b squared and the same thing. So I'm just gonna write down for you guys as 3 times 3 minus b, which is bracket -2 squared. So again, remember guys, if you have like a power like this, the b here, which is -2, should be inside the bracket, and then the square should be outside. Okay, so in here there'll be 3 times 3, which is 9, and then minus this guy is 4. And 9 minus 4 is equals to 5. Okay, next one is a squared plus b squared. There'll be 3 and then squared minus -2 and then squared. There'll be 9 minus 4 and it's the same thing. I mean, like, coincidentally, it's the same with number 38. Okay. Okay, so for number 40 until number 50, solve these equations. So, the thing that you need to understand, the concept, the very basic concept when solving algebraic equation, is that you need to simplify everything on the left side and on the right side of the equal sign, right? That's the first thing. The second one is the goal is to make the variable alone in one side of the equal sign. It doesn't matter if it's on the left side or on the right side of the equal sign. And then the thing that we need to do here is to do process in which if you do it on the left side, you do the same exact thing on the right side. Okay, so you need to do it like that. Okay, now we know that let's go to number 40. So b plus 5 equals to 14. So the goal is to make this b, right, the variable, alone in one side of the equal sign. Now it's on the left side of the equal sign. This is the equal sign, right? It's on the left side, but it's not alone. The 5 also on the left side of the equal sign. So we need to get rid of that 5, right? So basically, when you do when you want to get rid of this, so you are doing the opposite operation that is being done there. So it's being added, right? So the opposite of addition is subtraction. So b plus 5 equals to 14. So subtract both sides by 5, right? Because if I subtract this by 5, this is gone, because b plus 0 is just b, right? This is gone. So it's just b equals to 14 minus 5 is equals to 9. That's it. Okay, so the same thing with this one. A minus 6 equals to 18. So the a is not alone in one side of the equal sign. It has this minus 6. I'm going to get rid of that by doing the opposite process of this guy, which is subtraction, and then the opposite is going to be addition. So there'll be a minus 6 equals to 18. I'm going to add both sides by 6, so which makes this guy, these two, gone, because 6 minus 6 plus 6 is just 0. So a plus 0 is just a, right? So that'll be just a equals to 18 plus 6 is 24. Okay, now this one is just like one process, yeah, one step for number 40 and number 41. Number 42, we have like two processes. Now again, we are going to make the b alone one side. So we have a problem here. We have two numbers, right? Two things that we need to get rid of, which is the 2 and the 1. So you need to pick which one do you want to divide, you want to get rid of first. Okay, so it's actually up to you guys, but most of the time when we do this, I usually use my bitmaps, but I'm gonna use it in a different order. I mean, like the opposite order. So I'm gonna see it from the S1. So subtraction. Do we have subtraction over here? No. And then the next one is addition. Do we have addition? Yes, we have addition here. So we're going to do that first. I'm gonna get rid of that plus 1. So there'll be 2b plus 1 equals 19. I'm gonna subtract both sides by 1. Okay, so that means that this is gone, right? So it's just 2b on the left side of the equal sign, and this is 19 minus 1 is just 18, right? Now I need to get rid of the 2 because this is 2b means being multiplied. So get rid of the 2 by dividing. So because this is a multiplication, so in order to get rid of the 2, we need to do the opposite operation of multiplication, which is divide. Okay, by dividing this, you can just like cancel the 2, right? So you only have b on the left side of the equal sign, and then 18 divided by 2 is equals to 9. So what if you decided to do the you want to divide that first, the 2? So you can actually do that, but maybe it's gonna be a little bit more complex for you guys. So I'm gonna show it to you anyway on how to do it. Now, if you're choosing the 2, so I'm gonna 2b plus 1 equals to 19. So you need to divide it by 2, but be careful, you don't just divide this by 2, you need to divide everything by 2. Right, so if you divide everything by 2, you get 2b divided by 2 is just b, and then 1 divided by 2 is 1 over 2, right? You do it like that. So or you can just write down like this. So every single term you divided by 2. So when you divide you want to get rid of that 2, you need to divide this by 2, this by 2, and this by 2, every single term, right? So 2b divided by b is just b, and 1 divided by 2 is just 1 over 2, and this is 19 over 2, right? And then the next thing we need to get rid of that 1 over 2, right? Because it's being added, so you need to subtract. This is minus 2, sorry, minus 1 over 2, because that's 1 over 2, and then this is also minus over 2. Can you see that this is gone? It's just 0. So it's just b over there. And 19 over 2 minus 1 over 2 is 18 over 2. 18 over 2 is 19. 18 divided by 2 is equals to 9. Can you see that we have the same exact result? Okay, so we can choose whatever process you want as long as it is systematic and you get the final answer correctly. Okay, so but I prefer to do it like this. Okay, I don't know about you. So I'm gonna do number 43. You do the same exact thing like we did like for number 42. I'm gonna take the b here, so I'm gonna pull out the minus 7 first. I'm gonna add both sides by 7, so that'll be 2b minus 7 equals 21. I'm gonna add both sides by 7, so this is gone, so the 2b is on the left side. This is 28, and then get rid of the 2 by dividing both sides by 2, count across the 2, and you'll get b over here, and it'll be 14. Okay, now this one here is a little bit different. Yeah, actually we can do the same thing again, right? So I'm gonna get rid of that 3 first, and that'll be y over 2 plus 3 equals 7. I'm going to get rid of that 3 by subtracting both sides by 3. So this is gone. So it only have y over 2 over here. 7 minus 3 is equals to 4. And then I'm going to get rid of this 2 by multiplying both sides by 2. And you will get cancel this. You'll get y over here equals to 8. Okay. Number 45, the same thing. So get rid of the minus 4, and it'll be c over 3 minus 4 equals to, add both sides by 4, and you can cancel this. You get c over 3 over here, and it'll be equals 6, and then multiply everything by 3. You can cancel this 3, and then you get c equals to 18. Okay, now number 46, you can do another different way on how to do it, but most of the time, if you're a beginner, I would like you to expand the bracket first, okay? So let's expand. If we have like a bracket like this, you expand the bracket like this one, going there and going there, right? So if you expand the bracket, there will be 2x plus 2 equals to 8. Can you see that this is actually the same thing like we just did previously, right? So yeah. So in here, where do I have the 2x? Because 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 1 is 2, right? So that is where I got that. Yeah. Okay, now in here, let's get rid of that 2 first by subtracting both sides by 2. So there'll be 2x over here, and this is equal to 6, and then divide both sides by 2 to cancel that one. So the x is just equals to 3. Okay, the same thing with number 47. I'm gonna expand the bracket first. Expand the bracket, multiply this by this, you get 6x. This by this is negative 15, and it equals to 21. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of that minus 15 first. That'll be, which means I'm going to add this one. So remember that if you have bracket, open the bracket first, guys. Plus 15 over here, so this is gone. So you only have the 6x, and 21 plus 15 is gonna be 36, and then divide both sides by 6, right? And then cancel the 6. You have x over here. 36 divided by 6 is equals to 6. Okay, number 48, same thing. Here, this one is a little bit different, guys. If you have like a fraction in which is like, okay, it divide everything by a number, like this one is divide every single thing over here, numerator with this one 5, which means that we're going to get rid of that 5 first. You don't do it like this. You don't do it like minus 3, because you don't just minus it this 3, but you need to minus everything by 3, right? So don't do that. Okay, so the first thing we do is to get rid of this 5. So by doing that, we have 2x minus 3 over 5 equals 7. I'm going to multiply this by everything on the denominator, which is 5, right? So by doing this, I'm canceling the 5, okay? Okay, so that'll make us have 2x minus 3 on the left side of the equal sign, and 7 times 5 is 35. And then I can move that, I can add both sides by 3, right? And this is gone, so which means that I only have 2x over here. 35 plus 3 is 38, and then divide both sides by 2, and then I will get x equals to 19. Okay, number 49. Okay, now we have a different one here. We have the x on the left side and also on the right side of the equal sign. So I suggest you do that first. Okay, so this one and this one, right? So you decide which side do you want the variable n. I'm gonna decide here on the left side because this is like the larger number than this one, so you will get a positive number. So for this one is the same thing, 5x 3x. So I'm gonna decide also on the left side because this is larger. But for example, if this is like 5x, this is like 8x, I recommend that you do it on the right side. I mean, like, yeah, you put the x on the right side, but actually it's the same thing if you want to put it on the left side. Okay, so in here I'm going to subtract. I'm going to write down the question again. Is 3x minus 10 equals to 2x plus 13. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so that is like an addition, so I'm going to subtract both sides by 2x. If I do that, this one and this one, it's going to be just 0, right? So it's just like, okay, just cancel them, it's 0. So the one on the left side of the equal sign, I can simplify this and this one. 3x minus 2x is just 1x, or just x, right? So the minus 10 is still there, and then this 13 is still on the right side, right? Because it's positive, you don't have to write down positive over here. It's just 13, right? Can you see that this is like the same thing like we did like on the top? And then get rid of this guy here, which is plus 10, and then that leaves us with x on the left side of the equal sign. This is gone, and then we just equals to 23. Okay, you can do the same thing with number 5. 5x plus 12 equals to 3x minus 28. I'm gonna get rid of this guy, which is minus with 3x for both sides of the equal sign. So this and this is gone. So the one on the left side of the equal sign, you have 5x minus 3x. There'll be 2x, right? And then this plus 12 is still there. Don't forget to write it down. And this side of the equal sign is minus 28. So write down minus 28. And then the next one is we're gonna subtract both sides by 12 to get rid of this guy, right? Minus 12, and that leaves us with 2x on the left side, and this is gone. And then equals to minus 28 minus 12 is going to be minus 40. And the last step is to divide both sides by 2 to get rid of this 2, and then you will get the x value equals to negative 40 divided by 2 is negative 20. Okay, number 51 to 60, make x the subject of each of the following. Okay, so when it said that make x the subject of each of the following, means that the x must be alone in one side of the equal sign. The same thing like we just did when we're solving the algebra equation here. So the difference is that this is like just one variable and the other are just numbers in which we can simplify. This one, all of them are like variables, right? So this is like this one over here. Like, well, let's go to number 51 here. We have x plus a equals to b. So we want to make the x alone in one side of the equal sign. It means that we have this also on the left side of the equal sign, but it needs to be removed, right? So the same thing like before. So by how to get rid of this is just by doing the opposite operation of that of the process. In here we have addition, so we need to subtract them. So that x plus a equals b, you subtract both sides by a, right? So because this is gone, because a minus a is just 0, x plus 0 is just x, right? So okay, don't change this guy, so don't change it. So if this is b minus a, it's just b minus a, don't change it. Okay, number 52 is the same thing. We have the x over here and it's being subtracted by d, so we need to get rid of that minus d by adding both sides by d. So number 52, there'll be x minus d equals m, and then add both sides by d. and this is gone, and you will get x equals to m plus d. Remember, you don't change this, guys, just leave it there. Okay, so we can do everything with this process. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller, guys. I'm running out of space here. Okay, so number 53, I'm gonna put it over here, 53. Same thing as 2x equals b, so I need to get rid of the 2 by dividing both sides by 2, right? So I've canceled the 2 here, and the x just equals to b over 2. That's it, okay? Number 54 is the same thing, x over y equals c. I need to get rid of the y, so by multiplying by y, because again, this is division, so you need to multiply. The opposite operation of division is multiplication. So c times y, and then we can cancel this, and it leaves us with the x on the left side of the equal sign, and then it is c times y is just cy. Okay, number 55. Okay, 3x plus m equals n. Okay, now the first thing we need to get rid of is the m. Subtract both sides by m, right? So this is gone. So you only have 3x on the left side of the equal sign, and this is n minus m. Remember, don't change it. And then divide both sides by 3, right? Just cancel the 3, and on the right side, you don't have to do anything, just rewrite them. Okay. Number 56 is the same thing. Remember, we need the x alone, so we need to get rid of that b first. That'll be, I'm going to write down ax plus b equals c, and I'm going to subtract both sides by b. Okay, wait, I'm going to use a different color here so I can see. Okay, and then this is gone. You'll get only ax on the left side of the equal sign. This is just c minus b. And then divide both sides by a, right? Because I want to get rid of that a. So that'll be just x equals to c minus b over a. Okay, that's for number 56. Number 57. And there'll be 2 bracket x plus a equals b. So I'm going to open the bracket first. There'll be 2x plus 2a equals b. And I'm going to get rid of that 2a. Wait, oops, sorry. I'm gonna get rid of that 2a. Okay, like this. Okay, by subtracting by minus 2a to both sides of the equal sign. So there'll be 2x over here, because this is gone, equals to b minus 2a. And then divide everything by 2 to get rid of the 2. So that will be x equals to b minus 2a over 2. Okay. Next up, number 58. 58. B minus 2x. Okay, so there'll be b minus 2x equals to c. Okay, now in here, we can do a different way in how to do it, but yeah, let's do the same exact thing that we did before. So the first thing that we need to get rid of is this b, right? So it is a positive number, it's being added, and which means that we need to subtract both sides by b, right? Because b minus b is just 0. So that leaves us with minus 2x on the left side, and this is c minus b. Okay, so the minus stays there because it belongs to the 2. And then you divide this by negative 2, and then you can cancel, and that's it. Okay, next, number 59. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller, guys. I need some more space here. Okay, so number 59, let's put it over here. 6px minus r equals to w. So first thing first, get rid of the r by adding both sides by r plus r plus r. So this is gone. So you only have 6px equals to w plus r. So you can do it like in one go. So you just divide everything by 6p, right? Because if you do that, you can just like cancel this 6p. So that leaves us with x equals to w plus r over 6p. Okay, the last one, number 60. Put it here. X minus a. I'm running out of space, guys. Okay, whoopsie. I'm gonna do it here, guys. Okay, 60, number 60. X minus a over c equals to b. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is to multiply both sides by c, right? So I can cancel this. So that'll leave us with x minus a, and then this is b times a is just bc. Okay, and then the last one is I'm gonna get rid of that a by adding both sides by a, and that will make us have only x on the left side of the equal sign, and right side is just bc plus a. Okay. Okay, for the essay, for converting fraction, decimal, and percentage, I don't really need to tell you how to do it because you're already done this in primary school. So since we're going to use the calculator, just use the calculator. Okay, so if you want to convert into fraction, from fraction to decimal, just write down this fraction in the calculator and then press equal sign, and then press that as the sign, and then after you get that, you'll get a decimal number, and here we get 0.5. Okay, for percentage, if after you get the decimal, you only need to multiply it by 100. Okay, so multiply that by 100, just again using the calculator, you'll get 50. And don't forget to write down the percent. If you just write down 50, then it's wrong. Okay, so please remind yourself that you need to write down the percent in here. So just percent and then percent over here, right? Okay, the same thing when you want to convert decimal into fraction, the same exact thing, which is just put that into the calculator, 0.4, and then just press the equal button, and then you will convert that decimal into a fraction. So basically, or we can do it like this: 0.4 is actually 4 over 10, right? And then we can actually convert that, 4 over 10, because it only has like one number in the back of the decimal place. Or we can simplify this, becomes 2 over 5. So if you put it into the calculator, you will get this number, right? Yeah. Okay, again, if you want to change this decimal into percentage, you only need to multiply it by 100, so this will be 40%. Okay, now how about percentage into decimal? So the first thing you do is to divide this by 100, right? So that 45 divided by 100 is going to be 0.45. And then after you divide it by that, you will get a fraction, 0.45. So 0.45 is actually 45 over 100, right? But we can simplify this, becomes 9 over 20. So this is the number that we will get from the calculator. Remember that this is going to be the simplest form of fraction. Okay, next one is 3 over 5. 3 over 5, again, just press the 3 over 5, and then press equal sign, and then press that SD button. You'll get 0.6, and then multiply this by 100 to get the percentage, so there'll be 60%. Okay, so for number 2, you can actually put everything in the calculator, but remember that if you only have the final answer, then you won't get a full marks, full point. Okay, so please write down the process, step-by-step process. Okay, so remember the bitmass concept, right? So the bitmass concept, we're going to use this concept to answer these questions. Now in here we have division, we have bracket, and we have addition. So the one that we're going to do first is the one inside the bracket, which is the 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4 is 2, right? So I'm going to rewrite everything over here, and this becomes 2. Right, and next one is bracket. Index, we don't have any index. We have division, yes we have, so we're gonna do this first. Okay, 24 divided by 2 is 12, and then plus 3, and then you can add them. Yeah, 12 plus 3 is equals to 15. Okay, so yeah, you do it like this. Okay, so in here we have multiplication, we have subtraction, we have index, we have division, we have another subtraction here. So the one that we're going to do first is we don't have any bracket. The next one is the index, so that will 8 to the power of 2, which is 64. So this is going to be 64. Okay, so everything else actually can be like, okay, you can do this first, for example, like combine those two. 3 minus 3 times 6, which is 18. But yeah, I recommend that you do it later for now because you're still a beginner, so just do that. Okay, next one is a division. We have a division as is over here, but actually division and multiplication have the same level, so you do it from the left to the right. So we have multiplication and we have division. So I'm gonna do the 3 times 6 first. That will be 18, and then I'm gonna do this one, 16 divided by 84 divided by 4 is going to be equals to 16. Okay, now we can do it one by one. So 18 minus 16 is 4, right? Oh, sorry, it's not 4, it's 2. My bad. And minus 7, and that'll be just equals to negative 5. Okay, don't forget to write down equal sign in each of the line. Okay, now the same thing with this one. We do the one inside the bracket first. This one inside the bracket. So 7 times 2 minus 4. Multiplication first and then subtraction, right? The 72 divided by something over here. So 7 times 2 is 14. 14 minus 8 is equals to 6, right? So it's 6. And then you have a square. Plus 5 squared. Okay, you can do this one as one go. So it's just 25 minus 11. And then you can do the square over here, which is going to be 36, right? And plus 25 minus 11, and then you can do this one. 72 divided by 36 is 2. 2 plus 25 minus 11, and 2 plus 27, 25 is 27. 27 minus 11 is going to be equals to 16. Okay, that's it. Okay, same thing with question D. Do this one first. So the one this inside the bracket would be 5, right? That'll be 5. So I'm going to write 36 divided by, I can do this one first, which is 9. And then this is going to be 5 squared minus 8. And then 36 divided by 9 is 4. Okay, that will be 5 squared, which is equals to 25 minus 8. And then multiply the 4 times 2, which is 100 minus 8, and that'll be equals to 92. Okay, next one, number 3. Sasha had $24 to spend on 7 pencils. After buying them, she had $10. By using algebraic approach, how much did each pencil cost? So again, guys, so for this one, I really need to write down the equation. If you don't write down the equation just to find an answer, whether it's correct or not, I mean, like, if it's correct, then you'll get a point, but if it's not, you're not getting a point. But if you only write down the final answer without the algebraic process, then the marks is not going to be full. So yeah, so example here, guys. So remember that if you don't know a value of the value of a number, so denote that as a variable. It can be x, y, z, a, b, c. It's up to you, actually. For this one, because we're talking about 7 pencils, so I'm gonna say, okay, so let's say it's p is the cost for 1 pencil. Okay, so which means that, okay, if I have $24, right, and then I spend it on 7 pencils, then I'm gonna subtract that by 7p, right? And after buying that, she had $10, so that's the remaining money, right? So in here, this is the algebraic equation. So you can actually do it a little bit differently. So for example, like, okay, 7 pencil plus $10 equals to 24. It's actually the same exact thing. You can write that, okay, 7 pencil, if I buy the 7 pencil and I add that with the money that's left after buying them, which is a change, that would be equals to 24. This is actually the same thing. This one and this one is actually the same. Okay, so we're gonna do it one by one. Okay, I'm gonna do this one, and I'm gonna do this one, and I'm gonna show you that we will get the same exact answer. Now in here, we're going to from this equation, I'm gonna subtract both sides by 24, right? So I'm gonna move this a little bit to the right side. Okay, there'll be minus 24 because I'm gonna get rid of that 24. Okay, that'll leave us with minus 7p on the left side of the equal sign, and this becomes minus 14. Now we only need to divide everything by minus 7, right? So this guy is gone. Negative divided by negative is equals to 2, right? Can you see that the p, or the cost of 1 pencil, is 2, and here is in dollar, right? So if we're doing this one, it's the same thing, right? So subtract both sides by 10. I'm gonna move this a little bit to the right side. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So minus 10 for both sides, right? So that will be 7p on the left side of the equal sign. This is 14, and then divide everything by 7, right? Cancel the 7, and this is also 2. Can you see that we have the same exact answer? So it doesn't matter in which approach you want to see it, but the equation is going to be also crucial to find the final answer. Okay, now let's go to number 4. It's the same thing. Abel has X number of comics. After some time, she decided to sell half of her comic books and then bought another 21 comics. She now has 50 comics. So, which means that half of her comic books is sell, and half of them is still have it. So now he only have like 1 over 2 of the X, right? Because X is the number of comics. And then after that, after she sold it, then he bought another 21. So he bought means you add them, so it's plus 21. And now she has 50 comics. So this is the algebraic equation. Now we do the same thing like before, right, guys? When we solve algebraic equation, so I'm gonna get rid of that plus 21 first by subtracting both sides by 21, and that'll be just 1 over 2x, and then equals to 29. And then I'm gonna get rid of that 2 because I need to have this as 1x, or just x. Multiply this by 2. Multiply this by 2, you can get rid of the 2, so that leaves us with 1x, or just x, and this is 58. So she began with, remember that you need to write down the final sentence. She began with 58 comics. Okay. Next, number 5. The sum of 4 consecutive even number is 140. For these numbers, by using algebraic approach, determine the smallest number and the largest number. So let's say we have the smallest number is x. Okay, so the first number says if x, if those numbers are near the sum, means you add them, right? 4 consecutive even numbers. So if the first number is x, then the second number will be x plus 2, right? Because, for example, if I have like 2 as the first number, the second number will be 4, right? You add it by 2. How do I get to the next number, which is 6 over here? You get from here, you get it plus 4. Next number, 8, you get it plus 6, and so on, so on, so on, right? So, which means that if this is x plus 2, this is x plus 4, this is x plus 6, right? So, I can write down like that. So, the third number is going to be x plus 4, and the last number will be x plus 6, right? So, if I sum or add them together, they'll be 140. So, if I'm changing that sign here, so I can change that comma, becomes addition. So, okay, plus, plus, and they'll be equals to 140, right? And then you can simplify the expression here. We have x plus x plus x plus x. They'll be 4x. And then we have 2 plus negative 4, plus 4, and then plus 6, and it'll be plus 12, right? And equals to 140. And then you can do the same thing like before. Just solve this equation. I'm going to subtract both sides by 12. And this is gone. So you only have 4x on the left side of the equal sign. And you get 128 on the right side of the equal sign. And then divide everything by 4. So this is gone. So the x is going to be equals to 32, right? So which means that the smallest number is 32. So write down now, smallest number is 32. Now, how to find the largest number? Because we know that the largest number is this one, is x plus 6. So which means that the largest number is just 32 plus 6, because this is 32 plus 6, which is equals to 38. Okay, move on to number 6. Akira has B number of books. Yumi has 1/4 as many as book as Akira, minus 4. Hikari has 3 times as many books as Yumi has, plus 6. Okay, now the first question, write down an expression for the number of books Yumi has in terms of B. Okay, now you're going to focus here. Yumi has 1/4 as many as book as Akira, minus 4. So you can see that Akira is the number of book that Akira has represented by the letter B. So this will be the B, right? It's 1/4. 1/4 means 1/4. So Yumi will have, for question A, will have equals to 1/4, 1/4, as many as book, means new multiplied by the B, which is the Akira, and then minus it with 4. That's it. Okay, so I can write it down, or I can write it down as 1/4B minus 4. That's it. Okay, and then the second question is Hikari. Write down an expression in terms of B for the number of Hikari has. So you know Hikari, right, has 3 times, right? Come right down. Hikari B is 3 times 3 multiplied as many as book as Yumi. Yumi is this one, right? That's Yumi. That'll be bracket 1/4 B minus 4, and then plus 6. Okay, plus 6. Okay, you don't have to simplify anything over here. Just leave it like that. It's fine. I'm gonna make a full mark for you guys. Okay, so question C. If Akira has 60 books, what if the sum of Akira, Yumi, and Hikari's books? Now, you can actually just, find how many Akira have, how many books does Akira have, how many books does Yumi has, and Hikari's, how many books does Hikari has. One by one, and add them together, okay? So, the first one is Akira, of course. Akira has 60 books, okay? So, this is 60. And then Yumi, we know that Yumi is this one, right? Yumi is that. So the number of book that Yumi has is going to be equals to, you only need to substitute that B by 60, because that B is representing the number of book that Akira has. So there'll be 1/4 bracket 60 minus 4. And then you can just like plug this in into the calculator. You'll get 15 minus 4, which is 11. Okay, 1/4 times 60, 15. Yes, 15 minus 4 is 11. And then the last one is the Hikari's book. There'll be 3 times 1/4 times 60, right? So just use this one here because that's Hikari's. Just change this B by 60, and then minus 4, and then plus 6. Okay, that'll be equals to, this one is, just plug everything in the calculator, guys. It'll be 33 plus 6, there'll be 39 books. And then, which means that the final result, because we're calculating how many books do they have, so the total books, do they have, which is going to be 60 plus 11 plus 39. 3, 4, 5, they'll be equals to 110 books. Okay, number 7. On the first day at school in grade 7, the mother has X number of pencil. He then bought another 4 pencil. The next half of the total of his pencil were given to his friend. He then now only have 7 pencil. By using algebraic approach, solve for the value of X, which represent the number of pencil that he began with. Okay, so we're going to use X for this one. Okay, so on the first day in grade 7, the has X. So this is the first thing, right? The first one. And then he bought another 4. So it means that it's added by 4. The next day, half of the total of his pencil were given to his friend. So half of this, which is divided by 2, is given to her friend. So he then now have only 7 pencil. Okay, so this is the algebraic equation. So we have done this before, right, in the previous number. So I'm gonna just go to the process. You know how to do it, right? So multiply this by 2 first, and then you can cancel the 2, and we only have x plus 4, and this is 14, and then subtract both sides by 4, and you will get 10. So which means that the total, he began with 10 books. Okay, number 8. There are 246 students went on a field trip. There are 5 identical buses, which has the same seat or capacity for each one of them that the school provided. However, after all the buses were filled with students, there are 6 students who didn't get a seat in the bus since it was full. These students then traveled by another car. If the number of students in each bus is represented as a variable x, write this statement in algebraic equation in terms of x and calculate how many students were in each bus. So again, guys, so I'm gonna illustrate for you guys. So like 5 identical. So this is like, these are the buses, right? Each of them has x number of students, right? And then after it fails, we still have that 6 students, right, on the car. And then the total of these things, all of the students, you will get 246. Can you see that we have, okay, like 5 of these, so that'll be just 5x, right? And then plus 6 equals to 246, right? So in here, you only need to like solve this equation, right? Pretty easy. Minus 6 both sides, there'll be just 5x on the left side of the equal sign, and there'll be 240, and then divide both sides by 5, and then you will get x is equals to 48. So there'll be like, yeah, there are 48 students in each bus. Okay, last one. Yeah, I think it's the last one. Yes. Amy had 100 bill to spend for 18 pencil and 24 bucks. After buying the pencil and books, the remaining money that she had is 15.4. So this approach, you can actually do the same thing like we did over, what is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, this one, number 3, right? But the only difference is that we have like two different items, okay? Now, it's actually the same thing, right? So you can write it down like this. So write down an equation for this context in terms of P and B. So the first equation that you can write down is like 100, that money, if I spend it to 18p pencil, and 24 bucks, I will get 15.4 as the remaining money, right? This is the first one. Or you can write it down like this. Oh, if I add the 18 pencil, the cost of 18 pencil with the 24 bucks with the remaining money that I have, I will get equals to 100. I will get that 100 bills, okay? So you can choose this one or this one. Both of them works just fine, no problem. And I'm gonna choose this one this time to be solved. So the same thing with the previous one. Yeah. So in here, you don't have to do anything with this guy, except that I'm asking you to simplify this. Then you can simplify, but this one is not. Okay. So that is for question A. For question B, if the price of a pencil is $1.5, solve for the value of B to determine the price of a book. So the cost of the pencil is given here, which is 1.5. So you only need to substitute the P, right, the pencil, by 1.5. So this P becomes 1.5. Okay, now let's do that. I'm gonna write down 18 bracket 1.5 and plus 24b plus 15.4 equals to 100. So I can multiply 18 by 1.5. 18 times 1.5 is actually 27, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is 27. So this is 27 plus 24b plus 15.4 equals to 100. And then I can combine this and this one, right? 27 plus 15.4 and it'll be 42.4, right? So 24b plus 42.4 equals 100. So I'm gonna subtract both sides by 42.4. Okay, wait. 42.4, so that I will get cancel with this one. So I only have 24 on the left side of the equal sign. And then 100 minus 42.4 is going to be 57.6. Okay, and the last one is you need to divide both of them by 24 to cancel this. And then the b is going to be equals to divided by 24. And you will get $2.4. And there you go. So the price of a buck is $2.4.